Welcome to the Scaling Edge. This is the Internet Talk program that
Reroll.
we don't have to. Let's just roll with it. It is this is the new year. This is our second podcast after the new year, and
No drinking.
I'm drinking coffee. But that's it for the month. I have given up the rest, given up everything, all the other poisons for the month. We were just talking about how you should do that in December. How much cleaner your New Year's would be if you did instead of a month off in January, you did a month off in December. But again, this is the Scaling Edge. This is the Internet Talk program that focuses on the hard-won lessons of battle-hardened entrepreneurs here to share their value with you. I'm your host, Michael Brooks, and Max is here.
Hello, everyone.
Oh yeah,
back. Shout out to our followers here.
Yes. Very cool. We have Jason Wood here. Jason Wood, CEO of Specificity, a digital marketing company. He's going to share a little bit about how small, mid-sized, and enterprise businesses they're public companies, which is kind of cool. And that's a little crazy. That's a business into itself, being
oh my God,
stock price and all that. But aside from the stock stuff, how small to mid-sized businesses and even enterprise should be thinking about digital marketing to scale their business and their lives. Jason, thank you for being a part of our program. Thank you for being on the Scaling Edge. We appreciate it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got here?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on. It's an honor. I like you guys' podcast quite a bit. Yeah, so listen, man, I'm a Midwest kid, grew up blue collar, sales, marketing kind of minded kind of guy. I got into sales right out of college and hit the ground running. So in my late 20s, I was kind of bored selling something for somebody else. Started a little consulting business. Frankly, I got lucky, boomed it, sold it, started something else, boomed it, sold it. And then I got into the digital marketing space about 16, 18 years ago.
All right, so let's talk now about Specificity and how that's shaping the digital marketing world.
Specificity is, I think, kind of like a natural evolution to I don't know, my perspective being really unique into the market. And I attracted a team of people that feel the same way. And that is that, big tech is full of shit and they're out for their own interests. And at the end of the day, if you don't understand that,
what? They have their own interests?
Oh man, it's
one thing. Google loves me. They gave me cheat email.
We talk to clients all the time. We're like, well, we do well on Google. And I'm like, really? Well, why did they do away with enhanced CPC right before the holiday season? If you were to guess, whose revenue do you think that would help? Them or yours? No, it's big tech, man. I mean, they're such bad actors with data. They've ruined the data market for a lot of industries that aren't even like nefariously using data, but the access to the lid's been shut on a lot of that. They go at the CPM model. They don't give a shit about how much of the traffic they're generating is accurate or bot traffic. Shit, these days you go on Meta in a post iOS 14.5 update world, and you just click a box of homeowners. You're lucky if that's actual homeowner 65% of the time, which means if you're selling a product that only homeowners buy, it means 35% of the audience, 35% of your ad budget is going to people that don't even own a home. So if you're trying to sell window replacements or garage doors or air conditioning, roofs, pools, all that stuff, your 30-year budgets just went right into their coffers and did you no good whatsoever. If you understand that, and it's not just Meta, it's not just Google, it's DSPs, it's audience activating platforms, it's all of that shit.
What do you think about LinkedIn's targeting? They seem to be very specific.
Well, yeah, the problem that LinkedIn had, in my opinion, we don't do LinkedIn campaigns, at least not serving on LinkedIn's platform anymore. The problem LinkedIn ran into is their monetization model was not good. And so they opened it wide open. And as those of us that are in business experience, now you get 500 in-mails a week from, lead gen and all these companies. They opened it up too wide open and let companies come in at what they call an enterprise level with unlimited in-mails. And now, I mean, for the first time, I did a TikTok on this about 6 months ago. First time in my professional career, I turned notifications off on LinkedIn because 99% of them are, hey, we've got this B2B lead gen. Hey, could your company use more leads? Like just all this specious bullshit marketing. And then you look into it and what are they doing? They're selling you exactly what they're using to try to hook you. And it's just junk. It doesn't work. We've tried it. We've tested it. It doesn't work. So for us, if you want to drive conversions out of your ad spend, LinkedIn has great data, but their platform for conversion funneling is just diluted these days.
So what's working? So and I totally agree with you. I mean, the ad buying space is scary. You know, the ad
It
buyer,
is.
especially the ad buyer of the past, was, I mean, I think the requirement was your ego had to be far bigger than your experience. I once had this one kid,
That's
he was
so true.
19 going on 12. This guy looked so young. A guy was painting my house. It was his stepson. And he's like, dude, I want to figure out how to buy ads on LinkedIn. I want to figure out how to make money buying ads for companies on LinkedIn. I was like, look, why don't you do this? Start a simple YouTube page and just go look at every video out there on how to buy ads and every nuance of it, and just rewrite it and do a video about it and just explain it to people. And then come back, you do that, and I'll hire you. And I was going to hire him for like 12 and a half, $15 an hour, which would have been stoked for him. I started hitting him up. He couldn't have time for me. He did that. And he's like, I got too much business. I'm $50 an hour now. And I'm like, little prick. You don't know anything. You can't fool me. But it's a scary thing. And people, especially people like me, don't want to look at it because I don't want to understand it. And I don't want to play with it. And I'm like, can I just find that's where the MBA should be, analyzing that. MBA should not be out there taking clients to dinner and drinking with them and remembering their relatives. That's what I'm built for. Like this,
Me
the
too.
whole buying ads thing is it's like I just it's such a natural aversion to it. I don't even want to look at it. But I've seen the people that do buy them, and I've seen their lives change, not for the better over the years, right? To where what was working doesn't work anymore, and everything's kind of more loose now. What is working now? What should people be thinking about now if they want to go out and, aside from looking in their LinkedIn inbox for someone that's gonna get you lead B2B leads, what's gonna work?
Yeah, I mean, to that end, I would place this bet with anybody that wanted to do it. I could take a country club membership in any community, join it, and generate more leads in my first 30 days drinking than LinkedIn will get you in a month with 10K a month. There's no doubt about it. As far as good quality conversion leads, all day long, I could play golf and drink and do better. What I would tell you really matters now today, and it's the play we've made. And look, I'm not into doing a commercial for our company. That's not why I get on podcasts. I just like shooting the shit about this stuff that matters. For me, it's about audience. So what we've done as a country, as an industry, is we've trained an entire generation of marketers to get good at leveraging platforms. And that requires an assumption that these platforms are delivering usable data for you, accurate data, good data. And if you just get good at Meta's algos or TikTok's algos or Google's, search algos, if you could just get good at that, then everything will work out well. And the problem is the data is shit, and it's designed to be not good. If you had the ability to market to 1,000 people to drive 20 conversions instead of 100,000 people, that is counterintuitive to all of their revenue models. So going all in with company whose profit is derived through more impressions, not through accuracy of data, inherently is flawed. So for us, it's all about how are you arriving at that audience? So you take the old agency model of like personas, right? Where you get a bunch of people sitting around a conference room with a great marketer's instinct. Well, here's some personas we came up with. Here's Sarah. Sarah's 28. Sarah graduated with a master's degree in this, and Sarah likes this, and she's got a kid.
Madison Avenue all over it. Yeah.
At Madison Avenue all over again. And so now you take that concept that worked for Nike, and you try to apply it to everybody's business. So what you realize is Nike doesn't see any devalue in any impression they serve, even if it's to a 7-year-old kid in South America, because sooner or later that kid's going to buy tennis shoes when they're 20, 25. Nobody else has, very few have products like that. So an intent buyer is something. It means something. And it's an audience you got to be in front of. And if you're capitalizing paid spend to do branding, I mean, you might as well just roll your money up and smoke it. At least you'll get a good 10-minute benefit from it. You're not going to get it in paid ads. So the whole persona thing, it's got some value when you understand your market, but if you can't convert it into addressable data points and know that that data is accurate, that it's got BIDOs and MAIDs tied to signal data, that's not mechanic or bot traffic, like if you can't button that piece up, get the fuck out of the game. You're going to waste so much money.
So you're saying that if you just jump into Facebook, Twitter, Insta, whatever, and you just throw cash at what they say you should throw cash at, you're throwing away 45% of your money right off the bat because it's garbage. And your perspective is companies should be looking at their own data source, understanding their own data, and then learning how to market through that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying you've got to build audiences. We're partnered with all of these platforms for the ad serving piece, right? So we're channel agnostic, but we run Meta campaigns. We run TikTok campaigns. We don't advertise in the Google ecosystem because I think it's specious as hell. And I think it's set up for the big players to win, just like the phone book used to be. And guess what? Who's their biggest spend aggregator? YP Online, right? So of course that's all baked into that cake. But now you got DSPs for display, connected TV, and all that, and they're jumping into the game with their own data assets. Don't trust those data assets that are actionable. Build an audience using the data market that you can vet and know is good data, and then publish that into the platform you want to serve ads through. The key piece to all of this, Michael, for me is this. The whole reason digital is so much more palatable than any other kind of venue we've got through traditional and the like is the analytic information that comes back. Informing your brand on behavior of different buying segments that you know are engaged or cyclically become engaged in your product, understanding their behavior, what their triggers are, what they want, informs your brand in ways that you need. But if a third of your data is bullshit, then all of your analytics are. And now you add AI to this. So now what we've got is stupid AI. We've got AI that will help you make really stupid fucking decisions very quickly. And that's
artificial
and that's the AI market.
stupid intelligence.
And it is. I mean, you see these optimization companies that are already doing $200 million or $400 million, and they're like, look, we can take your meta analytics and your meta audiences, and we can have AI do audience ID with it. Well, great, but what's bot traffic? What's good traffic? What's accurate? You don't know. It's all first party contextual data now. So what the hell does AI know?
It's the most refreshing conversation I've had on AI since this whole thing started. It's how much of how much of AI is just stupid.
Well, AI is just like a condom, right? It only works if you know how to put the goddamn thing on. And you've got all these companies that just go, well, we have AI. We don't know how it works.
I could throw in the towel right now because I've got 2 kids that just showed up.
On the doorstep?
Not quite. That's really actionable data. All right. So can you tell me about a specific client you've worked with, some metrics, and how you changed their marketing landscape from throwing cash away to working with it?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll give you a few examples if you want. Like one of them is like I mentioned the window company space before because this is the most acute example of nefarious data being harmful to a company that I can think of, and it's easiest to understand. So we signed a client here in the Gulf Coast. I'm down here in Tampa. So this company operates along the Gulf Coast, and they sell high-end window jobs. So we come into this campaign and we take a look at their audience build out. And what we looked at through a whole bunch of things we did to assess it was that almost half of the people they were marketing to didn't own the home they live in. So, Meta's, contextual data, if you follow Home Depot, that's a weighted score and the like. But so many people in this market lease because they don't want to buy at the top end of the market, or because you're like me and you've got a company and you know what, I want the tax deduction. So I don't really want to own a home at the top end of the real estate market. So you got a lot of people that demographically are buttoned up, a good fit, that have capital to buy a Ferrari or a $150,000 window job, but they don't have the real estate asset because they don't want it. And that is a huge part of the audience down here. So when you're looking at that, 50% of their ad budget almost was going to people that didn't even own their house. Not to mention the other 50%, you don't know value a home, you don't know any of it. And then we find out through analytics, through marketing, the number one corollary we found to conversion in the high-end home window replacement was home equity. If they didn't have 27% equity or more of the house, they were precipitously less likely to convert than if they had it above that level of equity. And the reason for it's simple. If you think about it, I mean, a lot of people use a HELOC. The average window job's about 6% of the value of the house. So if you have 20% or 21% equity and you take out a 5-6% loan to capitalize a short-term purchase like a home window, now you're below that 20%, and now your bank wants PMI money, so nobody will do it. So if you don't have that equity percentage in the value of the right value house, you're not a buyer. So now we took out another 35 to 60% of that audience. And now we found this really narrowly defined audience with which to really saturate. Conversions went up, their ad spend got cut in half, ROI through the roof, and off we go. That's just a perfect example.
I want to talk about how you got that data, but that type of work is real marketing. It's figuring out, taking everybody off the table that you don't want to promote to. I get Facebook ads every now and again. Guilty. I scroll. I don't engage, but I scroll and I'll check out the reels just because it's like a little mindless thing I do on the toilet. Like it's just like my brainless time. And I get these ads for like a champagne bucket that fits on a boat. And I'm like, wow. How would these guys, when are these guys going to go under? Like I don't own a boat, dude. I've never owned a boat. And it's like, here's the champagne bucket and it fits right into your fishing area of the boat. And I'm just going, these guys must be blowing cash hand over fist. And what you're doing is taking everybody off the table and going, we're not going to pay a penny to be in front of them. We're not going to serve anything to them. We're going to saturate and focus on and completely surround the people that we're focused on, which is those that qualify, those that are the best fit. So how do you get all these sources? Do you just stay in the homeowner stuff, or what? Like, how do you go and find all this great data so that you can find the right people to target?
Yeah, we can find intent audiences for virtually everything, right? I mean, you really can if you're willing to do the work, and that in and of itself is a mindset that agencies don't have anymore. They just don't. It's all about monetizing platforms. You've got all these platforms, DSPs, and agency has access to them and can serve the ads. It's CPM. I can get you $7 a CPM, and your old company got you 12. And I'm like, look, I might have $20 CPM. But the conversion rate's going to be exponentially higher. Why do you give a shit about the CPM level? Are you marketing for money, or are you marketing to build a social circle? Because if you're marketing to build a social circle, I'll be the first to tell you, don't come to us. We're not here to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy about your brand. We're here to sell them your product, because real branding comes as a result of driving robust conversions and delivering a good product and user experience, because organic branding is the only branding that works anymore now that social proof is so important to branding. So to like believe that, but then remove the data piece to that is what agencies are doing. They're guilty of specious actions in their own taglines. You know, social proof is important. What are you marketing to? Oh, just anybody in Tampa. Really? Okay. That seems a little weird. And that's where you get into tools and tactics, right? So geofencing. Wow, geolocation. Yeah, that's great if you're selling ice cream, man. That's great. But if you're trying to find intent buyers for Maseratis, doing geofencing isn't going to get it done, because the dealership next to the dealership is a Starbucks, and going to Starbucks does not make you a high intent buyer of a Maserati.
Well, that's amazing. So how does somebody start working with you? What's their process? Like, if somebody signs up with you, what's the first thing that you do?
Well, there's a couple of sides to what we do that give us competitive advantage, right? So one is the audience build out, and that's where we start with everybody. When we talk to clients, we don't talk to them in the beginning about anything other than what their audience looks like, what their buyers look like, what they know about their buyers. Do you know and we need to find them, or do you not know and we need to discover them? Do you know different segments that are successful for you? Are you looking for new segments for new growth opportunity? Do you need to further penetrate existing segments? So there's all of that conversation that we think is first and foremost. Marketing in and of itself is not nearly enough today to be successful. You've got to market to the right people. And you know, the best example I can give you this is you take a product we all have, one version or another, smartphone. Well, my 70-year-old mom just bought an iPhone, and my 21-year-old stepkid just bought an iPhone, and everybody in between bought their phone. So do you think I can sell a 21-year-old an iPhone with the same messaging, the same aesthetics, the same graphic, the same value propositions through the same channels, but I can sell my 70-year-old mom? Absolutely not. And if you don't take that first initial step of really looking at who the hell it is buying your product and how you're going to be successful, what messaging and aesthetic they're going to connect to in a segmented fashion, then you're already going to hurt your campaign right out of the gate. So for us, it's always about hopping on a call and talk about audience, because what we can deliver in that conversation with clients they can get off of that call, never sign us, and improve their marketing without us. They use us, and then you get into that second piece that we have the very proprietary advantage, the sourcing of the data and the vetting of its accuracy, but also the ability to saturate. We've got a saturation model that the billion-dollar companies have in terms of CPM, in terms of traffic resolution, and the ability to do all of that. We've got the AI tools, but we're using enriched AI, not stupid AI. So we're pointing it at conclusions with very disparate data sources. So we've got the tools buttoned up to mechanically just convert. So it's the build out, it's the foundation we're better at, and it's the execution to drive conversions that we validate through analytics. So working with us is a conversation about audience.
That's amazing. Jason, so much good information. How do people find you if they want to get a hold of you and they want to start working with you right now?
Yeah, you can go to specificityinc.com. There's a contact us page or form at the bottom of that page. You can check me out on the Angry CEO on TikTok. That's a little bit rated R content, but it's pretty blunt summation of big tech and big ad tech. And I think a lot of people into marketing appreciate that. We've built quite a decent sized following there for that.
Very cool. We'll throw that in the show notes as well as your LinkedIn if you're cool with it. And we will see you soon. Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it, guys.